Hey guys, I wanted to make a short video today, basically of our institutions, right? Why do we trust our institutions so blindly that we have the world that we have today, right? We allowed those actions that they took to put us in the position that we're in today. And a lot of them are, I mean, it's stuff that we have to have like in modern society every day, right? Um, the three biggest, I'm going to say probably banking corporation and corporations, right? It's one. The government and the church, religious institutions. But yeah, church, banks, corporations, big banks, right? They have so much control of everything. Let's start with the church. I mean, if you don't know the history, like I don't think there's a single religion that has not been caught red-handed. At least on the Abraham religions, right? Judaism, Christianity, Islam, they've all been caught in trafficking, right? They've, in the past, through their religious fervor, always in the name of God, murdering in the name of God, right? They're probably, between those three, between the Abraham religions, they're probably responsible for more people killed in war than every war combined for like the last 200 to 300 years, right? That is how crazy it is. I would probably, the Crusades alone cost more lives. I don't know the exact statistics anymore, but we see how it's being used in our media. That's another big institution. I don't know how that shit slipped, but yeah, I don't, putting faith in these, like, putting faith in the religion isn't a bad thing, but putting faith in the institution has led us to this shit, right? The Vatican has been trafficking children for thousands of years, like at least a millennia and a half, right? That has been traced back. Shit, you can even see it on some of the designs of the cathedrals in Europe, where the artists were calling out the cardinals and bishops with the statues and stuff they made, like of a young boy like giving himself fellatio and showing like his anus and all that stuff, like bending over, and the fountain, the water fountain's coming out of his butt. That was like a direct attack, from like, I don't know, 600-700 years ago, which is crazy, as a direct response to the Vatican. I mean, that the royal family can also be traced back to that, which I'll put kind of them in with government and banking and corporations and media. They're tied into everything. All these guys are interchanged, but I mean, look at the banking system right now. That's just crazy. It's crazy. They're trying to push us into a new digital age of money while they're destroying the global economy. The banks are, and energy companies are the ones mainly behind this. Big politicians, they want this. They're moving everything from Ukraine, because there's no way we're gonna do anything with that, and it's already been divided up and sold to big corporations. Already happened. A third of the farmland's owned by BlackRock. I don't even know how many mineral rights and stuff. Whatever Russia didn't take over, like BlackRock, Vanguard, and maybe one or two other guys have, right? We're trusting, all these big banks and financial institutions, and look at where it's got us. They're still transferring money back and forth from the Epstein, the Epstein accounts, J.P. Morgan. They were caught dead to rights just last year or the year before in the Virgin Islands. And again, what they do, they just go down after the Attorney General was able to win a civil suit for the victims. They go down and fire her and get rid of her because she starts bringing in the the legal side, not just the civil side, but the criminal side. And as soon as that happens, it's gone. You know, you have Deutsche Bank, the New York Federal Reserve, J.P. Morgan Chase, Barclays, right? That's just four of the world's largest banking institutions, all intertwined with this shit, all directly connected to Epstein and his web. And you can see that list, but like the best people for that are going to be Whitney Webb, Ryan Dawson. Ryan Dawson has an actual map that's amazing. Antineoconreport.com. Like that's, you want to know the list and these crimes, that's where you get it. That's when you start hearing the names that aren't so common. The Pritzkers, Leon Black. These guys are just, their names are just coming up in the media. I've been talking about this since 2019. But the Bronfmans, right? 3 ex-heads of state for Israel alone. Ehud Barak, Ehud Olmert, and I can't remember the other fuck's name. 2 heads of state at least in the U.S., Clinton and Trump. But I guarantee Bush's and Clinton's were most likely involved with them because they interconnect in the financial crimes, the gun running, and all the stuff with the drug running through Iran-Contra. Epstein was around that whole time. He was the top of financial crimes probably in the U.S. around that time and getting moved in to the different trafficking networks to see where he fit best, right? That's one small example. Look at the 2008 crash. It was cartel drug money that held up the U.S. economy. That's the only reason our economy didn't completely collapse in 2008. It was cartel drug money, billions. And now, ironically, after what they go and I forgot which one because they just arrested so many members of the big cartels within the last week, but they just got like $15 billion that they confiscated. And the president here in Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, says that the U.S. should split the drug money for the poor Mexican people, which I actually think I think it's a good idea. I mean, fuck, it's the subjugation and treatment of Mexico and Latin America that is the root cause of all this shit going on anyway. And it was our CIA and our CIA and organized crime, along with Israeli and some European intelligence and organized crime, that really set up the whole cartel basis in Latin America. And that goes all the way back to Prohibition when they started with the casinos and stuff, but moved on. The drugs came in a little bit later. There was minor drug dealing back then, but not like it is now, right? That's just one, all right? Look at just the big corporations, big pharma and medicine. Like, if you're still on the vaccine thing, then I don't know what to say to you, dude. Like, all you have to do is read 30 minutes or an hour. Go get Pfizer and Moderna's. You can still download it off the internet. Go get their court-ordered trial data that you can get online that they were forced to release. Just go get it. I know it's thousands and thousands of pages. You don't have to read it all. Just skim through it. Just get an idea of what's going on, right? Because they're trying to kill you, right? 74% of the vaccinated people, according to the recent study that was headed by the lead doctor in the world for this, Peter McCullough, I thought it was 78%, but it was 74%, still huge. They all died from direct causes from the vaccine. Everybody that had the injection, 74% of them, the direct cause of death was caused by the vaccine. Okay? It's fucking nuts. And yet, at the same time, they're still approving some of these for kids up as young as 6 months. Doesn't make any fucking sense, right? Like, do not give your kids that poison. Like, stand up to these people. Do not put that shit in your body, you know? And if you did in the past, because we were all scared, I was this close, you know? Thank God I didn't do it, but you have to go and get good detoxes to get this shit out of your system. And there's a few people that do talk about it. I think Peter McCullough is one of them that talks about it. And there are ways to start getting this shit out of your body. It needs to be done, man. I mean, anyways, I'm going too much on everyone, but you have big tech, all the big tech guys, especially in social media and Google and the guys pushing AI. I mean, look, all the agendas for this stuff, every direction, it goes towards the subjugation of people. It goes towards subjugating us in some kind of way or controlling us in some kind of way. None of it was made out of benevolence. It was made for profit and control. That's what they're doing with AI right now. Huge. I mean, they have a $500 billion facility that they're building. I think it's in Texas, if I remember correctly. But that Trump just signed on. As soon as he got on, you know, he puts in Palantir, the fucking CIA branch, you know? Headed by fucking somebody like Peter Thiel. Are you serious? Are you serious? Those guys. And the other guy that was one of the other co-founders of Google. But I mean, they have Palantir, Google, OpenAI, and a few others that are working on this. And they're trying to push the computer brain interface. And they don't want to do it for us. It's not, everything is leading down, subjugating and controlling us in some way, especially with this high-tech stuff. Let's see, that's big tech, big pharma, medicine, all that was pretty much covered. Big like weapons companies right now, how much power that they've held in like the last 100 years. They're the real shot callers, man. They're the ones that have all the contracts for the special access programs, the unacknowledged special access programs, where all that $21 trillion just fucking disappeared to over the last 2-3 decades. Yeah, wonder where that went. Black programs. And a lot of the money that goes into those same programs, they get from the drug trafficking as well, that they do here. The same people who started the crack epidemic, our government, right, our CIA, and rogue military and politicians, they brought in crack cocaine to the inner cities to destroy poor people, and at the same time created the entire new prison industrial complex. Thank you, Clinton, Biden, Bush, Reagan, cunts. But they targeted all the poor in the inner city, while at the same time, in pop culture, now we find out they're behind all the big hip-hop stuff in the direction that hip-hop went. Everybody that was talking about creating peace in the streets and figuring out how to bring up their communities, they were shunned out. But people talking about the only way to live is selling drugs, shooting motherfuckers, fuck as many hoes as you can. That's what was pushed, and that was a CIA agenda. We now know that. That was just discovered within the last 3 or 4 months, I want to say. But I posted about it. And then look at our government, guys. There's not a single branch in our government, or probably not even our military intelligence either, which I'll kind of all include those. But there's the House, the judiciary, the executive, the Congress, judiciary, executive. They all are garbage. I mean, remember the die-hard, I hate Trump saying, I hate Hillary, all that shit. Hillary just supported him 2-3 days ago because he's starting to get more pro-aggressive against Putin and, of course, the pro-Israel war, and then moving all that stuff. They're shifting that from Ukraine to Venezuela. They're shifting that. We've already got our submarines there. We've already got soldiers over there ready to go. And it's like, everything is going to shit. Fuck, I'm still tired. I'm still tired from all the years of the crazy labor and work that I did, man. I remember my first year in Mexico, I couldn't really do anything except sleep most of the time. I slept probably 10 to 12 hours a day. And from somebody that was I was averaging 5 to 6 hours a night, most nights since I was about 18, you know, especially at work in university. But I mean, you can't, anybody that has a pair of eyes, you can't tell me that there's not unmitigated, ridiculous corruption. What Trump's doing in DC, bringing the National Guard and talking about hitting all these big cities. Again, I mean, it might be a good thing in some cases, but dude, don't be fooled by this guy. Don't be fooled by this guy. It's like the people that were fooled by Biden, and before them, Obama, before Trump and Biden, Obama and Bush. Don't be fooled by these guys. They are on the same team. Their agendas are the same. They want full spectrum dominance over the globe. And I don't even think they care exactly how they get it, as long as they're in a good position in that the elitists up there that are doing this. But infrastructure is already built. Now it's known for a fact there's a huge tunnel system in even major underground cities in the U.S. that they've been building up for years and years and years. You have that new ship coming, and people have been talking about this, like a big false flag coming, like a fake alien invasion. Now they're trying to scare the shit out of everybody. 2027, this huge object is coming, and we think it's a mothership that's aggressive or hostile or something. And now it's this November that it's supposed to be here. And be ready, guys, because the choice is coming. You're gonna have to make a choice to believe what the corrupt institutions, the government-sponsored media, government, corporate, they are not independent media anymore. You cannot watch Fox, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, any of the garbage that you can turn on and see on the TV, on regular TV. You can't trust a fucking single word. And it doesn't mean now you have to go and watch more conservative news on the internet or more. No, dude, there's people in the full spectrum. The difference between them is that they're real investigative reporters that are on the social media platforms and the big media platforms, non-mainstream, non-legacy media. But that's the only difference. Is they lean the same way politically as your favorites on TV, except they actually tell the truth and bring out real stories. And they criticize any politician or businessman, no matter what political standing that they're on. The legacy media does not do that anymore. They are bought and paid for. They have been. And, I mean, there's been a program for that called, I think it was Project Mockingbird or Operation Mockingbird. It's Mockingbird. And that shit's been going on for over 50 years now. CIA, FBI, talking about getting all the media, the major media outlets, basically into one big consortium and into one big conglomerate, and then having them all spread the same news from a different face, right? And this is just small stuff, right? Or not, it's all huge stuff, but this is just few of the hundreds and hundreds of major problems that we have. But at the root of it, you can go to the institutions that we were indoctrinated our whole lives to trust, and this is the issue. Our religious institutions, our government institutions, our corporate institutions, banking, financial, energy, media, big tech, big pharma, medicine. It's insane. It's insane. It's like, I can't believe that Americans are still swallowing this shit. Like, there's scientific proof on every level. There's not a single thing that you put in your body that is not poisonous anymore in the United States. Not a single thing. Water is highly fluoridated still in most places. All the food is fucking garbage. If it's not garbage from the processed food, then the vast majority of the things like corn and soy and wheat are genetically modified and have severe adverse events over the long term, especially against gut health, which regulates the rest of how the rest of your body works. It's nuts to me, and y'all keep swallowing this fucking shit and still say, like, is still not, like, scoffing when they're saying, oh, we're putting a new mRNA shot out that we promised to get rid of. Oh, by the way, it killed 74% of the people we injected it with that have died. 74% of the people that have died since then, it's a direct cause from the injection. It's fucking crazy, guys. Like, why? I don't understand. I just don't understand what it's going to take. But something big is coming. Whatever that big comet thing is in November, they're going to use that against us. I'll put money on it now. It's going to be, they're going to try to scare the shit out of us some kind of way. And who knows, it might be these next few months. Might be when the bomb hits. You know, it's already been dropped. If it's not dropped, that fucking plane is really close right now. But the bomb is dropping, dude, and it's about to smash. And just be ready. Like, if you don't have a store of food, you know, if you don't have physical, tangible assets, not fucking stock market bullshit that they manipulate. You know, our whole banking and money system so ridiculous. I don't know how people follow that shit anymore either. It drives me crazy. But just something is coming. And like, all the greatest researchers are really stressing this. The writing's on the wall. War is inevitable now. The regional war, Iran, Israel, that shit's gonna happen. And again, I think that we're just gonna move shit from Ukraine, Russia, to Venezuela. Maybe we just let Israel get destroyed, but still, Trump tried to go to Venezuela in 2019 through Silver Corporation out of Florida, led by a former Green Beret and a former Navy SEAL. One of the guys said, "No, this is crazy. I'm not going to do this." Stepped out. The other guy continued with it. They ended up getting caught by the Venezuelan military because a fisherman called in ahead of, like, "Hey, here's a bunch of gringos on the boat with machine guns coming towards the coast." Venezuelan military met them. Firefight ensued. I think 8 dead, 63 captured, something like that, including the head of one of the co-heads of Silver Corporations. That they had a $250 million contract to overthrow the Venezuelan government, to overthrow Maduro. Right? All this shit's crazy. These guys all play the same games, and don't let the fucking paradigm fool you, right? Because everything's still the same. Or it's worse, actually. But, you know, the economy is still formed the same way, and it's still meant to fuck me and you in order to give these maniacs in the political and donor class everything, right? They want to rob. They're against us in every way for that. Always the wars. We're under constant attack economically. We're always in the middle of war, always distracted with that being sent there. It's been so normalized that kids these days don't know a country that has not been in the midst of a war. Anybody born after 2001, no one knows any time that we haven't been in a war. Most of the time we have been. I think there's a total of 10 years in America where we weren't in a war or some kind of special military operation across the globe. But it's really coming here, guys. And, you know, I'm due to come back for my brother's retirement in April, just for like a few weeks, maybe a month or something. And I'm fucking terrified, dude. I am terrified to go to the U.S. and something happens. All of a sudden, I'm shut down. I can't get back to where I live now. I lose my residency. And even if I don't lose my residency and shit gets tension between U.S. and Mexico happens, they just kick me out anyway. Or I'm not allowed to go back in. And I can't stand that, dude, because I can't be the one that pays into these systems. I cannot personally allow any money from my paycheck, any sweat or blood from my efforts to be allowed to help push these institutions. I will not pay and work for my own subjugation and slavery. And that's exactly what the American citizenry and the European citizenry and the Canadian citizenry have been doing for decades without realizing it. But now a lot of us do realize it. And we have to spread that word. We have to do something about it. I am terrified, dude. Fournette, my housemate over here that lives in the other house, he just came back from the U.S. and he said he's never felt shittier in his life. And it was crazy because he had a great time there. Everything was wonderful. except his gut got destroyed by all the fucking poison he was having to ingest, because there's no good food left unless you grow it yourself. They're trying to ban all the farmers. Fuck, was it Oregon? They say that try to make gardening and water collection illegal, or saying like if you have water on your land that it's actually the government's water and you have to have permission to use your own shit, right? It is nuts. It is so crazy. So just step back and look at everything. Like, really look at it and question it. Because the time to decide, it is now, you know? And when that bomb hits, if you haven't made a decision, it's most likely going to be too late. You know? You're going to see mass problems coming with the fall of this economy. No one's going to be able to afford food. It's fucking stupid that we don't get food based off of our efforts, but instead off of money in the first place. I think that's fucking insane. I think that's an insane part of our society, that, you know, no, somebody can be working really hard, but they don't have maybe the highest skill set. They're not a computer tech or a lawyer or engineer, but I assure you their work is a lot fucking harder and more stressful on a daily basis. They get paid garbage and can barely afford to keep food in their kids' tummy. And the food they can't afford to put in their kids' tummy, it's poisoning their kids, right? All this stuff, it attacks every system we have, right? So it's just crazy to me that people cannot see this, or they can, but they refuse to acknowledge it because they're afraid to even talk about it. Dude, let your voice be heard. No one's ever going to agree with anybody else 100%, right? Throw that out there, talk, get with your communities, work some shit out and plan it, because if you don't have a way to work with your immediate community to take care of each other in the near future, it's going to be a really, really bad time for you, really tough time. And we might not make it through, to be quite honest. And I think the whole breaking up of the community over these past decades, you know, most neighbors aren't neighbors anymore. I think all that has been staged and made up, because these people, they don't work in weeks or months. They work in decades, right? They're thinking ahead decades. All the shit that's happening right now has been being planned since the Cold War era. And there was physical documentation to prove it, right? And there's physical witnesses that were at these places, at these meetings, at these top secret discussions, that they come out and whistleblow, and then the documentation, it's proven, right? So I hope that you guys are on the right side of this. You know, I hope my loved ones, I hope everybody out there, like, you're not succumbing to the social pressures and the government pressures to do what they say you should do with your family and kids, right? Because, you know, I hate to fucking say it because it's disgusting, but a lot of our kids are, like, long term, because of getting these fucking injections, because all the pharmaceutical drugs pushed into them, the fluoridated water, the fucking poisons in our food, all the poisons that we breathe in from the chemtrails. It's not a fucking theory, it's a fact. It's a conspiracy, yes, there's no fucking theory about it. I'm sick of hearing the conspiracy theory. No, a conspiracy is not the same as a goddamn theory, all right? There's no theory that JFK was not murdered by Lee Harvey Oswald. That is now proven. It's just been hidden for the last 6 decades. It's proven. It's out there. But they're still hiding all the shit that Israel had to do behind it. Yes, Israel killing JFK, stealing the atomic bomb, and all that stuff. It was Mordecai Vanunu whistleblower that brought that out. And what did Israel do? They honey trapped him and brought him back and put him in prison to rot for telling the world the truth. No, Israel has massive nuclear arsenal and facility, and we're building more. And if you think Netanyahu and the Zionists of Israel will not go nuclear, then you are out of your mind. You have not been paying attention. That dude is a fucking maniac. All right, all these people, most of our government is 100% behind Israel too. All of them have an AIPAC representative. We don't consider Israel like a foreign, what's it called? Like AIPAC, what, like I guess like a foreign intelligence or foreign government institution. I can't remember the syntax right now. I forget. But it's, guys, it's time. You know, I thought this would be like a 5-10 minute max video because I just had a few small subjects, but they're so huge and they all interconnect. This web all interconnects. And that's what they're so terrified of with the Epstein thing, because that one fucking loose thread that they had, you pull it and everything is blown up. It goes into everything. It is the web of people that do control the world. And the names and the corporations are actually out there. Go look. Check out Anti-Neocon Report with Ryan Dawson. Check out Unlimited Hangout with Whitney Webb. You know, check out The Last American Vagabond, more conservative leaning, top notch, fucking top notch, been top notch for years. Kim Iverson, she's more left leaning, awesome independent journalist. More left leaning independents that are out there telling the truth. There's a good comedian called Jimmy Dore who's funny, but he brings the heat, bro. He brings the heat. The Convo Couch, another left leaning. More right-leaning stuff. Redacted is a great one. Probably the biggest one out there so far. And they're more conservative-leaning. I have a whole list. Sean Atwood does some great work out of the UK. And he's written books about Iran-Contra and that whole Bush, Clinton, Reagan era, everything that happened in there. But you guys gotta look at it. I mean, they're about to let Ghislaine Maxwell out. Because somebody has the dirt on Trump, Israel, Netanyahu, I'm assuming. And I think maybe the only good thing that could come out of this whole Epstein thing is I saw a podcast yesterday, is that they said that might actually force disclosure out. Because if Trump has the balls to come out and give us the information that his family helped steal. Yes, his uncle stole all that shit from Tesla and put it in the government and intelligence hands. Trump's uncle, John Trump, was integral in that. His family's in there. The Bush family's in there. The Clintons, these political families are there. They all have interblood relations. That was even proven by like a 7th grade chick like 5 or 6 years ago. I think there's one U.S. president that has not originate from the same bloodline. And it's fucking weird. But it's all over Europe too. Like the royal blood and all over Europe, like all that shit's in there. It's fucking weird. And it sounds nuts, but it's actually, it's researched, it's proven. Like they have the bloodlines of everybody down and recorded. So let's ask this, like, step back and look at what's happening. Because the choice that you're going to have to make is going to be freaking huge, and it's going to be life-changing for every single person on the planet. It doesn't matter who you are. The shit that's coming is going to change every one of our lives forever. And if they do come out with some false flag and say that this is some alien threat, I'm begging you, do not believe that shit. Do not believe it. There is documentation. There's several government, military, and intelligence and corporate insiders that have talked about the U.S., or basically like the global elitist trying to push a false flag to make the populace terrified of non-human entities and push us into an interplanetary war or intergalactic war, right? So if that shit happens, like, at least know this so you can make a halfway informed decision, because something is coming, whatever it is. Like, we don't know exactly what it is, but all the signs are there. We know the war is inevitable in the Middle East. I just don't think there's any way around that. Most people don't. Most experts on this don't. We have shit, I'm losing myself, sorry, but like, yeah, we have the new stuff in Venezuela going down, the end of Ukraine, which is kind of being moved over. Like, all this interconnects. All these high politicians, they may act like they're enemies or something because one's a Democrat and one's a Republican. They're all on the same team. All you have to do is just go look at the wars, the economics, and the treatment, the general treatment of normal people, regular people in society by the political and donor classes. That's all you have to do. Just go look at the last 40 years of just brief stuff, just scandals. And it's so obvious once you do. It's so obvious. So I'm just asking everybody, like, look into your heart and know that your intuition is right. Something is about to happen and you need to be prepared for it. Because whatever it is going to devastate so many people. And I want as many as my loved ones as possible to survive. I want everybody to survive it, except the people that are doing it. Hi, Nala. But that's all I got. Thought it would be 10 minutes. Almost 40. But y'all guys have a good day. And I hope that at least I have spurred some kind of thoughtful insight. So good luck to everybody, and be prepared.